Please welcome the Executive Director, C40, Mark Watts.
Thank you, and welcome everyone to this Climate Safe Communities for All, the Cities Delivering the Paris Agreement session. And first, before I start, just a word of thanks to our great friends at the City Foundation who made possible that lovely little video that you just saw. This looks like a room of friends, so it'll be no surprise when I say that the transition to a low-carbon, resilient economy is already well underway, and it's being led in the great cities of the world. And I'm really proud to be announcing today in this session that 73 cities, representing over 425 million citizens, have now committed to C40's Deadline 2020 initiative. That means to develop inclusive climate action plans, to strengthen resilience, and to become carbon neutral by 2050 in alignment with the 1.5-degree goal of the Paris Agreement. And the collective impact of what these cities will deliver is really impressive. Their new commitments that they're making as part of this Deadline 2020 program will deliver additional avoided emissions of over 12 gigatons of greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. That's equivalent to the annual emissions of the United States, the European Union, and Russia combined. Yeah, it deserves some applause. And I think here what we're seeing from led by cities is that their commitments will provide significant support for higher ambition at the national level also. If you think about it, cities committed to emissions neutrality represent around 60% of GDP in Brazil and China, 19% in the United States, 27% in France, 49% in South Africa, and 55% in South Korea. So these cities are really the driving forces of many of their national economies. And what we're seeing in these cities that have signed this pledge is a demonstration in an action that the path to future economic development does not require higher emissions. Indeed, we announced earlier this morning that 27 C40 cities have already peaked their emissions whilst their populations and economies have been growing, ahead of the global target that overall world emissions need to peak by 2020. So this bold leadership is really critical, but it's not enough for just the biggest cities in the world to be committed to science-based action. And I'm also really pleased to be able to report that the Deadline 2020 framework for carbon neutrality will now spread beyond C40 members thanks to a partnership with WWF One Planet City Challenge. So beginning in 2019, all cities accepting that challenge, small or large, all across the globe, will be evaluated against alignment with constraining maximum global temperature rise to 1.5 degree and will be guided towards the biggest impact reductions. So in addition to cities committing to Deadline 2020 today, we celebrate also the 2018 Global One Planet City Challenge winner, the Swedish university town of Uppsala, for their ambitious commitment and actions to cut net community CO2 emissions 100% no later than 2050. So it really shows a small city can be a very big leader. And I'm also honoured to recognise our C40 member, Jakarta, for gaining special mention on WWF's We Love Cities public engagement platform for gathering over 7,000 votes and suggestions to support their sustainability journey. So congratulations to Uppsala, Jakarta, and WWF's other 20 national One Planet City Challenge winners. And thanks very much to WWF for this partnership, which will help us to engage hundreds and hundreds more cities. So now, in a moment, we're going to have a photo opportunity for the mayors and leaders that have made this Deadline 2020 commitment and a signing ceremony. But first, it's my really great pleasure to welcome the Mayor of Cape Town, a member also of the Global Covenant of Mayors Board, and one of the staunchest members of C40, one of the real leaders on climate change in the world, Patricia de Lille. Mayor de Lille, the stage is yours.
We know that to deliver on the goals of the Paris Agreement, we need to achieve some very ambitious milestones. And that's why Cape Town was an early supporter of the Global Covenant of Mayors for Climate and Energy, and why I serve on the board. And through the Global Covenant of Mayors, 9,100 cities around the world, representing 800 million citizens, have committed to develop a citywide climate action plan. If fully realized, these commitments would account for the reduction of more than 60 gigatons of carbon from now until 2050. We need to work together to set clear targets. We also need to hold our members to a high standard through Deadline 2020 and provide leadership to other fellow members. Now, how can we move from commitment to action? In May this year, Cape Town joined the C40 Climate Action Planning Africa program. All 11 of the African members of this programs, including Cape Town, are committed to implementing climate action plans compatible with the Paris Agreement, carbon neutral cities by 2050. Because that is what the science tells us we need to do to protect all our futures. For Cape Town, this means enhancing the city's existing 2040 goals and sustainable energy and climate action plan to meet the new levels of ambition by the end of 2020, and increasing our climate adaptation actions, some of the projects and initiatives which are already contributing towards the journey that include taking the national energy regulator and entities to court to fight for the right of South African municipalities to buy and own renewable energy generation, to actively support PV rooftop installations, to tariffs and promotion, retrofitting all city-owned buildings and traffic lights with energy-efficient technology, and also developing waste-to-energy projects. Developing an electric vehicle framework to guide future electric vehicle transitions, including charging station protocols, tariff structures for charging and municipal fleet electric vehicle transmissions. The city is also in the process of procuring 11 electric buses as a pilot project. Also, our newly spatial development framework, which aims to curb urban sprawl by focusing on inward growth and transit-orientated development, and development of intensification, diversification, inclusivity, are covered by high-density land use. And this aims to massively reduce Cape Town's carbon footprint, bringing poorer Cape Townians closer to jobs and improve public transport viability and accessibility. Climate change means our city is getting drier. Cape Town has just come through the worst drought in 100 years. Our citizens have been enormously successful in reducing our water consumption by more than 55%. We are now busy making our city more water resilient in the future and maintaining our water efficiency. Efforts will, however, have to hugely be ramped out for all of us to reach our ambitious targets. To reach net zero emissions, a strong case will need to be made highlighting the multiple benefits of a decarbonized electricity supply, rapidly shifting to the next generation mobility, accelerating building efficiency, and eliminating waste. Working with colleagues from around the world, who already have such plans in place is a crucial part of our journey. We are seeing that the technologies are becoming increasingly available, finance is increasingly accessible, and policies are being tried and tested. The C40's Focus Acceleration Report identified just 12 key opportunities that could deliver 90% of necessary emission reductions across clean energy buildings, mobility, and waste. There are so many benefits to be reaped for communities and economies across the world. So this transformation can help end the 4.5 million premature deaths caused each year by polluted air. It can create millions of high-quality, sustainable jobs. It can build the resilient infrastructure urgently needed in fast-growing urban centers, and particularly in the global south. Finally, we have the incredible opportunity to fight inequality while tackling climate change. The fossil fuel economy has created a deeply unequal world with 1 billion people living in slums. Climate change exacerbates these inequalities. And it's for this reason, together with more than 20 fellow mayors, I have pledged to increase community-led development and inclusive climate action to achieve social and economic benefits in low-income and vulnerable communities. Inequality and climate change are the two major plagues of our time. If addressed together, they can be defeated. So I invite everyone to join forces, from citizens to heads of states in both the global south and the global north. Together we can create a healthier, more sustainable and equitable future for all. And now is the time to act. Let's make sure that next time we come together, we can show clearly how we are delivering on our ambitious commitments made here today. I thank you and God bless.
Stay on stage, because we're going to stay on stage for the first. So we're now going to move to a quick photo opportunity and a signing ceremony to recognise the mayors who've made this incredible commitment under Deadline 2020. We have to do this quite fast because we have so many mayors that have made that commitment. So I'm going to call out the names. We have first the Mayor of Accra, Mayor Soa, and some applause, please, as they come on stage. Representing the Mayor of Boston, Carl Spector, representing Buenos Aires, Juan Filgueira, Lord Mayor Jensen of Copenhagen, Mayor Gumedi of Durban, Secretary Wong of Hong Kong, Nico de Jager representing Johannesburg, Deputy Mayor Shirley Rodriguez from London, Mayor Garcetti of Los Angeles, Mayor Gutierrez of Medellin, Secretary Muller, Mexico City, Mayor Sala of Milan, representing the Mayor of New York City, Dan Zarilli, representing the Mayor of Oslo, Martin Jastrup, the Deputy Mayor Blaoul of Paris, Mayor Wheeler of Portland, Mayor Rodas of Quito, Jose Pinochet representing the Mayor of Santiago, Councillor Brink representing the Mayor of Schwani, Mayor Robertson of Vancouver, representing the Mayor of Washington, D.C., Tommy Wells, and representing the Mayor of Uppsala, Deputy Mayor Gardfell. And hopefully Mayor DeLille is also back on stage. Great. We can have our first photo opportunity.
Everyone can get a little bit closer together. That would be fantastic. Everybody on this side, if you just want to angle yourself a little bit this way. Everybody on that side, the opposite.
So this first group of mayors are mayors that made the commitment to Deadline 2020 a year ago at COP23. These are the early adopters. They're in. Okay, if you could stay on the stage, please, mayors, because we're now going to welcome a second group of mayors that have the next 42 mayors that have signed the Deadline 2020 commitment. I think I need to move around. And they are going to sign the declaration as they come up on stage. So please, first, we have the Vice Governor of Abidjan. No? Well, that's my order. I'm going to read out these names. You come on and start signing, because otherwise we're never going to work this out. So if you could just please start taking the stage and start doing the signing. I'm going to tell you everyone who's coming onto the stage at some point. The Mayor of Abidjan, representing the city of Amman, Nisreen Al-Araj. The Mayor Cahill of Beverly. Deputy Director Zhu of Chengdu. I seem to be reading out names that are not here, but they've all signed it. Mayor Kokon of Dakar. The Secretary General of Dubai, who I know is here, our good friend, I can see. Mayor of Dakar.
Yeah, Mayor of Dakar.
Thank you. And if you'd like to take the podium to sign, thank you. Representing Guadalajara, Mario Silva. Vice Chair Hung of Hanoi. Mayor Wertzner of Heidelberg. Mayor Caldwell, Honolulu. Mayor Turner of Houston. Secretary General of Dubai, I can see you at the front there, if you'd like to take to the podium. I think I better slow down. Right, sorry. Well, are we all going to fit on the stage? I hope so. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think we have just about caught up. So we will now go back. Secretary General of Dubai, and representing Mayor Turner, Mayor of Houston. Montreal, very good. Thanks. Okay. And representing next will be representing the Mayor of Montreal, Marique Cloutier. Hi. And Mayor Burns of Mosier. Representing the Mayor of Philadelphia, Christine Knapp. Not Mayor Pedusa. Okay. Representing the Mayor of Sao Paulo, Rodrigo Ravina. Hello. Great to see you again. Hi. At least I know you. And the Mayor of Salt Lake City, Mayor Biskupski. Hey. Great to see you. Hi, Tuan. It is fun. And representing our host city mayor, the Mayor of San Francisco, it's Tyrone Jewell. Hi. I hope so. And the Mayor of Santa Monica, Mayor Winterer. And next up will be representing the Mayor of Seattle, Jessica Finn Coven. Well, you got a big shout. Hi, great to see you again. And then we will have the Deputy Mayor of Seoul, Boyoung Hwang. Hey, hello. Great to see you. Hi. And representing the Mayor of Sydney, the Chief Executive of Sydney, Monica Baroni. And representing the Governor of Tokyo, Narumi Seno. No? Oh, now there we go. Not representing the Mayor of Tokyo, representing the Mayor of Yokohama, which was at the bottom of my list, Shuei Okuno. Thank you, sorry. That's everyone. And last but very much not least, the Mayor of Warsaw. A bit closer. Great. Have you got all the shots you need? Okay, very quickly. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. So everyone, please stay in the room. We're now going to move to our next session, which is Green Healthy Streets. Thank you very much.